Hey everyone, welcome back to another Fire Friday. I'm super excited to be here with a very special guest. We have so much in common when it comes to working with people that we absolutely admire and are inspired by. And this is why my new friend, Jordan Rossman, is here today. Jordan, nice to meet you personally, virtually like this. My team made sure that we connected. So I'm excited to meet you this way, as well as share this introduction with my friends who tune into Fire Friday. So welcome, Jordan, to our little Fire Friday show that we do every Friday to bring inspiring stories and to learn from other real estate rock stars who are just paving the way of the future of real estate. So welcome.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I've had a chance to look at some of the previous episodes, and to be included in the lineup of amazing industry leaders that you've had on is quite an honor. So thank you.
Well, thank you. Everyone's a friend and or becomes a friend who comes on this show. So, want to give everyone a little bit of your bio. You're a community leader, small business advocate, and a real estate team leader in, I want to say, Orillia,
You nailed it.
Canada. I nailed it. Okay, cool. You've built a business over the last 8 years by focusing your efforts on exceptional marketing, creating value content, and becoming a cornerstone in your community. You also have a popular show, Why Orillia, to build a brand on your town that's recognized and appreciated by all. So I'm sure our friends tuning in really want to hear from you, how you built this. But before we get started on your real estate journey, we are always more than just real estate. We're either, husbands, wives, family, who are you? And then ultimately, some of the things you had to overcome to build this amazing real estate career and what your legacy you want to leave behind would be.
Yeah, absolutely. First and foremost, I'm a husband and a dad, a proud girl dad. I have a beautiful 3-year-old daughter, and I always tell all my friends, a lot of my friends are having their first kid, and I always tell everyone that girls are the best. And so
Aw.
I'm a very proud girl dad, and that comes before everything. But the two cornerstones of my life in terms of what's going to satisfy me when I'm laying on my deathbed decades from now is, did I have a great family life, and did I build a business that I was proud of? And they're both very important aspects to my life. And so, that's what I spend 100% of my time on, is one of those two buckets.
I love that. I love that. Well, I think that it's important to talk about the things that wake us up in the morning excited, right? And you put your feet down and you're like, why am I doing this, right? It's usually because we, have some deeper purpose. And it's very evident that your family is that for you, right? And
Yeah.
it's exciting when you have little ones. I got into real estate when my kids were small. A lot of people just ask me like why I was so driven, and I'm like, I just take a look at them. I look at them and I just wanted to go out there and change, I would say, the patterns of my, let's say, generational cultural like patterns. And I also wanted to make my children proud. I wanted to build something that I would be proud of and that hopefully they would be proud of. And I didn't always get it right, but I chose a career that gave me the ability to what I would consider have time with them, flexibility at the time. So I thought, and something that they could be a part of. And actually, two of my
Yeah.
kids, Jordan, work with me. So it's really fun to know that we're actually now doing a family business. Um,
Amazing.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's really
a lot older
important to
than
me.
you, so
It
yours is still little, but mine at that time, one
yeah.
was 5 and one was 8. They were going to appointments with me at the time. Which
It's
was
important. You
really
want them to be proud of you, and you want them to grow up seeing that you're proud of you. And that's
absolutely.
a huge part of what drives me. Is I want her to be proud of daddy, but I want her to see that, you know, daddy did what made him proud, and built something that, you know, can maybe turn into a family business. Who knows?
You never know. You never know. All right. So, well, thank you for sharing that story. And I was asking you before we started on the show, like how long you had been with Curator. We're going to talk a little bit about Curator because are you coming to the Curator
I
conversion code?
am. I
Well, this
am.
is a great topic to talk about. So I'm excited. You and I have been at Curator for around the same time. So we're part of the OG crew, right? 2016.
Yep.
And we were talking about, we bet on the jockey, not all the time the horse, right? And Curator has just been amazing for us. The evolution of the platform has been fun to watch. but I'm a huge fan of Jimmy and Chris's and all the people that make up that community. And for years, it's what I've been attracted to, is the amazing talent that's a part of the curator family. And I can't wait to learn from you and what you've built. And I'm excited. I'm sure we've crossed each other as far as our names and seen each other's work here and there, but I'm really excited to meet you in person. That's going to be on May, I believe it's 4th and 5th,
Yep.
right? May 4th and 5th here in Orlando, Florida. It's the very first conversion code workshop for the conversion code 2. And then we have Phil M. Jones, who is the author of Exactly What to Say and co-author of Exactly What to Say in Real Estate with Jimmy and Chris. So I am pumped.
Me
to have
too.
you
Yeah,
here.
I'm really, really excited for that. It's the first in-person curator event in a couple of years, and I'm excited to see some old friends, and I think it's going to be amazing.
Well, for anyone who's listening, and we're going to go into what you do every day for your business to attract more business, because that's where I know you're a rock star and you shine there. But can you tell me why, when you saw this roll out, why you said, I got to be there?
Yeah, I think that, everyone gets, I shouldn't say everyone, but, a lot of people that I talk to, and I know it for myself, we get very, caught up in our own day-to-day aspects of our business. And sometimes we get the blinders on, and, being able to get outside of that and connect with people who are outside of my market, who are outside of my country, who are doing things differently. One of the big things with Curator for me was getting in that circle, getting in that network of people, to be able to learn from the best. And even if Curator offered me nothing but that, that's one of the greatest things that I've gotten from that. And the fact that I get to come down and see you and your team in that beautiful space that you've got, I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to give me some fresh ideas and more so some fresh vibes, I think.
I think it's really cool that you've got two types of people, right? You've got the ones who come and learn and get inspired and they don't take action. And then you've got the others who come, get ideas, get inspired, want to be in proximity, and then go out there and just crush it. And I know that's who you are. I'm excited. I'm excited to learn from everyone who's coming into the room. Honored to host the space. Friends from all over, doesn't matter which brand, we're all in this together. We're all here to learn. So the gift to me is the fact that you guys are all going to be here and I get to be in proximity with you guys. So thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah. And I think a good segue from that into, some of the topics today is, one of the things we're going to talk about today, and one of the cornerstones of what built my brand actually came from, I think it was in Boston. We did the Curator Excellence, and it was the last day, everyone was leaving. The keynote speaker just finished, and I'm standing there just chatting with Joe Mackin, Jimmy's brother. And we were just talking about an idea that I had it was percolating in the back of my mind for a while. It started with the whole Gary V, like, be the digital mayor.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, how do I talk about something that more people in my town will care about? Because what I found in my video journey and my content journey is consumers only care about real estate for this like small little time in their life.
Correct.
This buying or selling window. And if they're not in that window, they don't care about real estate at all. They may like looking at some pictures of $20 million homes, but they're not really caring about real estate content. And so the challenge that I was facing was, okay, I have 30,000 people in my city. And, we have a couple thousand transactions a year in our entire market. So there's a very small amount of people who are going to be interested in our real estate content at any given time. And so how do we build something where more people care about us and more people see us and they actually want to watch? And so it was, how do we create this community thing? And Joe was like, well, why don't you just go and interview local businesses and talk to them about what they do. Don't talk about real estate at all. And he actually helped me come up with the name. So we started a show called Why Orillia, where we, I was chatting with him about it. And it was, a lot of my friends that I went to high school with, we all, as we were growing up, everyone couldn't wait to get out of Orillia. But I love it. And I wanted to stay here. And I didn't, you know, I did leave for a little while, but I didn't want to go live in the big city and do all those things. And people would say, like, why Orillia? Like, what's so special about it? And I think it's the greatest place on earth. And so he said, well, just call it Why Orillia and roll with it. And from there, it turned into this huge thing that most people in our community have at least heard of. Most people I talk to for the first time have seen at least a couple of episodes. And, you know, it's been something that's helped catapult my brand into something that is, I think, bigger than real estate.
So you're the digital mayor. You're the one they go to for resources.
Well, people are now joking that I should run to be the actual mayor, which I have no interest in doing. I'm happy to be the digital mayor.
You know, I was at a conference a couple weeks ago, and Ken Pozak was there, and he was talking about how he built his YouTube channel. And Ken is in my market, and I am a huge fan of his work that he's put out, very similar to what you do, bringing value to the community. You said something really important, that there's a small window of when people are interested in real estate. My coach, John Cheplack, says, usually that's 5% of the time. That's it. 95% of the time, they have no interest in hearing about your market stats or hearing about, you know, certain things related to real estate. No one wants to see you're just sold, just listed, just sold, just listed, you know, but the value that you bring through this page of where to eat, up and coming restaurants, date night, what to do, did you know, interviewing government officials, knowing what's happening in the city that you love. That's important to people. So if an agent was getting started and you had any tips for them, how would you recommend that they get started so that they can also start maybe their community show? So that I'm sure you had imposter syndrome. I'm sure you had some challenges that you had to overcome, like, how do I even start it? What topics will work? What should the taglines be? Any tips that you can give to the people who are listening, because we want to come from a place of value, because you're inspiring. I'm sure they're all going to go and find out, go Google Why Orillia, and they're going to watch your show. So make sure you subscribe to his channel and follow him. But any tips that you can give to the real estate agents who are listening, or any listening to grow their business?
There's been a couple things along the way that I've noted, as because there's been other people who have tried to do, you know, I'm a big believer that I've never had an original idea in my entire life. It comes from being inspired by this or that, or hearing something and pulling it together and making it my own. And so as I've gone through, I've seen other people try this where it hasn't worked, it hasn't caught on. And I've looked at what are the differences. So a couple things. The first thing, and I think this is just a thing that's not unique to this idea, but just to video marketing in general for agents, is there's these hurdles that people kind of put in front of them. People will look at my video, which, you know, Why Orillia morphed into something that had sponsorships and video teams and all these things, but it started with like one crappy camera, no microphone, and I'm not a videographer. I'm just a realtor. I have no idea how to shoot this stuff. It was very low budget, and it was very, just figure it out as we went. And so don't let the video production, the quality of that, be the reason why you don't start. And really the biggest thing, and this is a hard thing for agents I've found, is I had one rule with Why Orillia, and it's that we will never talk about real estate. I will never mention real estate. It will not be posted on my real estate page. It will have nothing to do with real estate. I had this feeling. I was almost sort of self-conscious about it. I was nervous that it was going to come across as a sales pitch. And it was the one rule that we've had from the beginning of Why Orillia straight through, was that we never talked about real estate. And it became something that was very obviously this genuine interest in the other person's business. It wasn't about me, it was about them. And I knew that if I can help enough business owners get their message out there and show off their product or their store, that it will somehow turn into something that will be mutually beneficial. But I was prepared to wait. It could take 2 years of doing episodes before I ever saw any deal come from it. It happened much faster than that, but I was prepared to wait for the benefit to come back to me. It was really about the business, and it was about that business owner, and it was about them.
You were playing the long game. You were, building something that had substance, that wasn't about we're known as car salesmen. We're compared to car salesmen. This the slimy, right? Like, oh my God, they're just trying to get business. But I feel that for you it's so important to bring value first. And if you do enough good and you put enough value into the world, the abundance will flow naturally back to you.
And
Through
it comes in a way that you don't know and you couldn't predict. And so why Orillia didn't turn into, I interviewed this business and they said, oh, I have to sell my house, and it turned into a deal. It was more like we did why Orillia. People saw that I was good and comfortable on camera. So I got invited to be a part of this committee or this other community project. And then it turned into, people saw Jordan Rossman all the time, and then they saw the Rossman team real estate, and they started making that connection themselves. And so I think for a newer agent that wants to start something like this, be prepared to play the long game. It's not going to turn into deals in your first month, but you're not planning to just be in business for a month either. And so if you want to build a long, thriving business that continues to grow year over year, you have to start laying the foundation, and becoming a huge part of your community is the foundation. It's a huge part of the foundation. And it has turned years later into the come list me calls and I'm just, whenever I need to buy or sell, and obviously we're just using the Rossman team. They're the local team here.
Love that. I love that. And I think one of the things that you said that really, stood out to me is the consistency. Consistency is going to be key. And I poke fun at myself, Jordan. Like I always say, you can't talk about me because I'll talk about me myself, right? Kind of like Eminem, right? My team, they're amazing. They keep me consistent. They're, just so clear on the vision. And without having the proper camera setup or the lighting, 'cause there's times I'm in a hotel room or there's times I'm flying somewhere at a conference. Fire Friday, without fail, will happen, whether I
Right.
have the good camera quality, the good lighting, or not. I mean, there's times we've played a couple episodes, replays here and there, but the consistency, because this is truly something that now people tune into, they look forward to it, they use it as an inspiration platform. I feel like I have a duty and a responsibility to be a leader and to show up, even on the days I don't want to show up, even on the days the lighting might not be right, even on the days I might not have the right camera. So I think it's important for people to know consistency is key in
Yes.
anything that you do. And Jordan, you may not have a problem where you always have your great lighting now and your great camera setup, but like I live on the road, but I
Yeah.
committed to this 2.5 years ago, and it has changed my life in more ways than I can ever imagine because of the relationships that have been built. So consistency is key, and you're playing the long game, and
Yeah.
don't worry about having the perfect, production studio. Just bring the value in the content.
I always tell people to go search to, when they say, oh, your videos look good, they're well lit, they're well produced. It's like, please go back to 2 years ago and look at my videos. It doesn't have to be, with the $5,000 camera and all that sort of stuff. It doesn't have to be that. It just has to be, like you said, consistent. In our first year, we did 52 episodes in 52 weeks, and it went every single day, every single Wednesday at 2 p.m. Why Orillia was posted, and that was it. And it built and built and built. And so that was a huge part of it, was the consistency.
Yeah, we play ours every Friday, 8:30 without fail. And if not live, believe it or not, a little secret that we tell people is we do a lot of pre-recording. And it's important for people to know that, because there really are no excuses. If this is a commitment, you're going to find a way. And there's a lot of tools out there today that you can get things done even when it appears to be done.
Yeah.
Live, it could be pre-recorded. You'll never know. You'll never know. All right. So what's next? Tell me what's next. How are you guys preparing for, let's say what they call this shift or reshuffling of the market? I'm going to throw out that question because I know it's a topic that a lot of leaders are discussing. And I look at it as another opportunity to continue to step up as a leader. People are saying, Veronica, is there a market crash coming? I'm like, no, it's a reshuffle, it's a shift, it's a correction, it's you just have to rethink how you see this. I think the last 2 to 3 years were like an inflated market, right? There's this bubble, it's just about to pop, but it's not a bad pop. I was in the
Right.
market in 2008 and 2009. I know what a market crash and recession feels like. I truly, in my heart of heart, feel like there's going to be a correction or a
Right.
reshuffle, but not a crash. What are your
Right.
thoughts, and how are you guys preparing?
Yeah. I'm so happy that you brought this up because it excites me. It doesn't excite me for the handful of people. Whenever there's a correction or a crash or whatever it ends up being, there's always some sellers that get caught in that just with bad timing. And I always feel bad for them. But as a whole, you're right. I think it's probably more of a correction. And I think for the real estate industry, it's an absolutely amazing opportunity. I think that there is a shift that agents are just going to have to jump on. I was talking about it with my team yesterday. I think that we're moving away from just being able to post real estate porn all the time. And it's just pictures of houses and just sold and just listed and all of that.
Me, I'm so
Nobody,
great.
yeah, like and for the past 6 months, we've done a ton of business from just listeds and coming soons on Instagram because there was such a scarcity of inventory that if you had this house and you said, hey, like you can only see this on our Instagram and it's available, for 5 days off market, the DMs would explode and we'd have pre-market showings and everything was great. But there's so much inventory hitting our market right now. And so people don't care about, we're not in this ultra luxury type market. And most people aren't, where, the pictures of the houses you're listing could all be in magazines. So that's not exciting. What's exciting to me, because I think it's going to be important to the consumer, is there is so much noise right now. There's so many people. You've got realtors, you've got people on the news channels, you've got your uncle, everyone's saying all of these different things. People need help and people need an expert. And I think that right now, and on our team Instagram page, which is at Rossman team. But if you want to check out what we're doing for some inspiration, is we're educating the public. We're using Instagram Reels to educate our consumers and educate our future clients and existing clients and help them. We want to be that steady voice when there's all the noise, where people, they know that they can tell from our videos that we know what we're doing. We know how to handle this. We've got you covered. And they need somebody to, in 1 minute, in a clear message, cut out all the noise. And so I think that that's what people are looking for right now. They're looking for their expert. They're looking for, I always tell our team and our clients, we are not salespeople. We are guides through a difficult process.
Yes.
And so if you can show people that I would be a good guide for you, you're scared about what's about to come because you're about to sell your home and try and find a new one. And you need somebody to walk you through that process. And we know exactly what we're doing because you can tell that we know what we're doing. That's what people are looking for. So I think that's a huge opportunity that we're really diving into right now. And we've been met with a lot of great feedback from our community and from current, past, and future clients saying, hey, this makes a lot of sense. Thank you for breaking it down like that. And that's what people are. So our page will have less about listings and, check out these home decor ideas. There's so much of that right now. And you have to have some of that on your page. People need to know that you're in real estate. But right now, our content strategy is how can we be as helpful as possible?
I love that. That is so, it's just so inspiring to know that you're leading from a place of value and you're not afraid to share it. So thank you for being so open and willing
Of
to
course.
contribute. You are a true leader. I will tell you, I can imagine that after everyone watches this, you're going to have a lot more DMs thanking you on bringing value to Fire Friday, and also inspiration for why Orillia. I know I'm going to be watching it, and my marketing team will probably be stalking you to see if we can get inspiration and ideas. But most importantly, how we also can bring value to our community. Like you said, no idea is original. I'm a big believer in R&D. So with your permission, Jordan, we're probably going to rip off
Yeah.
and duplicate some of the stuff that you're doing because you are
Take it.
inspiring.
Take it. Unless you're watching this from Orillia, Ontario right now, take it. Go for it.
I mean, it's pretty fun. And now I'm so curious. I've been to Ontario before, and obviously on my list is to visit on Canada again. But if I ever go back to Ontario, I would be curious and I would want to go visit Orillia now as a result to the,
I'll probably meet you in Toronto. If you've landed in Orillia, you've probably made a wrong turn, but
well, I would like to go check it out because you just made it that
it
much
is beautiful
more.
here.
You sparked my curiosity. Hey, thank you so much for being here today. If you
Thank
guys
you.
want to learn more about what Jordan does and how the Rossman team continues to crush it, please go and follow them on their page, Instagram. We'll make sure that their information is in the comments, but also just check them out, send them referrals, anything that you might need. And just know that we are in this community together. We're here to inspire each other. Jordan, thank you so much. I can't wait to see
Thank
you
you,
in a
Veronica.
couple of days. And let's just keep on pouring magic into the world and helping more real estate agents build an amazing life and business and go help more people in our community. Thanks
I
again.
appreciate you. Thank you.
I appreciate you.